Thank you for joining us here this afternoon. After much thought and discussion, I have decided to make a new appointment to the Public Utilities Commission effective July 1st. That's Friday. Tom Gorak is an attorney who has specialized in public utilities for 37 years.
Why the timing of this now versus just a carryover of Mr. Champley's appointment? And
I have, sure.
To try to get a vote in one way or another?
No, I do think that the public. I know that the Public Utilities Commission has a very important role to play in our drive for 100% clean renewable energy. I knew that I would be making a change on July 1st. I did not want that announcement and the person nominated to impact or influence the decisions in any way. I can imagine if I had announced an appointment effective July 1st in February, then all of the conversations in and around the proceedings and any of the existing proceedings would really be tied to what would happen with the new commissioner versus the old commissioner. I had hoped personally that an issue would have been issued by this time. Unfortunately, they still have a day or so to be able to make that decision. I did inform Commissioner Champley last week, July 1st.
What's the major carry over Mr. Champley's appointment for a while?
You know, I was looking for a commissioner that was committed to the 100% clean energy initiative, looking for someone with experience. Obviously, with ongoing dockets, it became more complicated in the sense that I did not want to delay or impact the schedule of these activities. And so in considering alternatives for appointment, it clearly had to be someone who could hit the ground running and not impact or delay the issues that are currently before the Public Utilities Commission.
Were there ways in which you disagreed with Mr. Champley's decisions?
I did not review Mr. Champley's decision, so it's not based on any specific review of the record. Like all important boards and commissions, looking to appoint those that I think are more closely aligned with my personal beliefs, especially as it comes to regulation. As you are aware, those with a whole lot more than and clearly looking for someone well-rounded with lots of experience was important to that decision making.
Governor, there's been considerable speculation that the final appointment, if Champley was not continued, would be the one that tips the vote regarding NextEra. Can you talk about that and discuss how that influenced your decision on the new appointment?
I have not had any discussions with any of the commission members about their position on NextEra, so I really have no idea about what the decision is or is not. As I said, in looking at candidates for appointment to commission, it was very important that it be someone who was aware or had reviewed all of the materials. As you know, there are hundreds of thousands of pages of documents. So I definitely was looking for someone who was familiar with the issues and the evidence presented. So I have no idea. I've not discussed it with any of the existing commissioners. I have not asked Mr. Gorak what his views are in the proceeding. So I have no idea whether this appointment makes a change or not.
Is there any, maybe you can address this, I'm not sure how this works, but is there any conflict between having somebody serve on the staff and maybe have input on the recommendation and then later on approving it? I mean, is this something that it would be an issue?
I do know, and there would have been lots of concern raised if I was to appoint someone who was not familiar with the docket, the expectation would be that they would have to review all of the hundreds of thousands of pages that have been submitted on this docket before they would be in a position to participate in the decision. So, clearly that limited the people that I could consider for this appointment. I definitely did not want the appointment to delay the decision in this docket or any of the other dockets that are currently before the commission.
Was this something you had to run by the Ethics Commission?
I've had conversations with the Ethics Commission, and I'm quite familiar with the Ethics Commission, so I don't think that, there's a very big staff in one of the agencies versus a decision maker. And I feel very confident that Mr. Gorak can serve in a fair and impartial way.
So the process then is, once this is released, then Mr. Gorak is a member would then.
Effective July 1st, so there may be a decision issued tomorrow or today, I suppose. It's possible. I would hope that a decision on NextEra is issued soon. I think that there is much more work to be done at the commission dealing with and mapping out our pathway to 100% renewable.
Does the NextEra's interest in the Texas company give you any concerns about their ability, if approved, to pull off the purchase with the adequate capital they had been saying they would bring to the table here?
No, I don't have any concerns about that.
You're saying effective July 1st, but this is outside of Senate approval?
Yes, I do have the authority to make an interim appointment, and Mr. Gorak would be subject to confirmation at the next opportunity.
And this is nothing related to Champley's potential decision on the sale?
I have not discussed any of the dockets with Mr. Champley or Ms. Akiba or Chair Iwase. So I do not know what their position is on any of, whether the NextEra or other dockets that are currently pending in the commission.
Have you talked to Mr. Champley about this decision?
I did inform him last week that I would be making a change July 1st. So he was aware that I was looking at making an appointment. I did not discuss who the appointment would be.
What was his reaction?
I just thanked him for his service on the commission, like I do for all of the members of the public who serve on various boards and commissions. I did not talk to him personally.
Governor, how many others were considered for this position?
We were looking at a number of different people. Obviously, most of them had no knowledge of the proceedings or had limited knowledge of the proceeding. So,
It's my understanding that the law requires the current commission to stay as a holdover until someone else is appointed and qualified. What's the qualified part?
I definitely have had a conversation with the Attorney General, and we do believe that Mr. Gorak meets the requirements of the law.
Governor,
An entity like the Public Utilities Commission, I do understand that they are a very important component to our successful commitment to 100% renewable energy. There are many dockets, the PSIP docket, the interconnection dockets. They're fundamentally important dockets that are currently sitting before the commission that is important to moving forward with our commitment to 100% renewable. And I want to ensure that the commission is staffed and supported. I've been supporting expansion of professional staff at the commission to ensure that they have access to the resources they need so that they can get the information to make decisions.
What in Mr. Champley's work indicated to you that he was not that person who would support what your goals you're mentioning?
As I said, I didn't really review his position on anything. For me, it's just about finding people that are aligned more personally with my views.
Governor, while you say that you want someone who is more aligned with your views on energy. At the same time, you also say that you have never talked to him about his position regarding the NextEra merger. And that is something that has certainly been part of your views and your thinking. You've been strongly opposed to the NextEra merger. So how can it be that that's one thing that you don't talk about, the renewable is something that you do talk about?
Well, Richard, it's because I didn't want to invalidate or create any issue with that pending docket. So I've not personally talked with Mr. Gorak on his positions on any of the pending dockets, because I do believe that he needs to have the independence to serve the record, the formal record before the commission, and then make the best decisions on behalf of the people of Hawaii. So we've talked about general kinds of philosophies about decision making. I've assured him that I'm not looking for someone to only share my explicit reactions to different. I'm looking for someone who is has a vast wealth of experience, that has been involved with regulatory activities, both at the international and national level, and understands that, yes, I am committed to clean energy. And more importantly, I do know that the commission plays a very important part to that. But I did not discuss explicitly about any of the specific dockets that are currently before the commission.
How about LNG?
I did not discuss LNG with the commissioner.
Further to Richard's-
Potential. Sure.
Further to Richard's question, though, as well with Mr. Champley, if you also didn't review or discuss with Mr. Champley or review his decisions, again, how specifically do you know that he is not one who would have been okay in a holdover position on those same aligned
I do.
philosophies?
Let me just say this. I do know and am aware that Mr. Champley had disagreed with the previous chair in the commission, and on many instances had voted or prevented the previous chair of the commission from moving forward. And so, there definitely is some anecdotal information, and not so much on the specifics of what the disagreement was, but certainly that there was different disagreements, and I was in the Senate, and I passed the measure to restructure the commission because of the challenges that the commission was having.
Governor, you mentioned that you talked to a number of people before you decided with Mr. Gore. Did you give the PUC a deadline? Like, if you don't have this decision out, I'm going to make a decision? And was Mr. Gore your first choice?
I did not discuss or give the commission a deadline. I did, as soon as the hearings were completed, the formal hearings were completed, I did speak with the chair to talk about timeline and about in May. He felt that there was adequate time for the commission to make a decision on NextEra. He felt that there was more than adequate time to assemble a decision. So that's the extent of my conversation. It's more about timetable.
And was Mr. Gore your first choice?
Mr. Gore quickly became the clear choice, and I think a lot of that is because of his involvement in the NextEra docket specifically. But if you look at his background, wealth of knowledge in public utilities, he clearly had the most breadth and depth of experience in this area.
We have a 1 o'clock bill signing. Any more questions? Okay, thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Governor. You're terrific. I gotta learn to be like you.